Hello, 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 everyone. How are you doing? Good. We got a room full of educators here. Let's go. I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty happy to be sitting down. Hopefully, I will get a chance to do that after 20,000, laps around this place. So today, I'm very happy to have you guys here. We have an exciting panel for you today. In a minute, I'm going to sit down, but first, I want to talk to you about how this is going to work out. We have a couple of preset questions. I'm going to ask them to the audience, to the panel members, and they're going to come up here and they're going to present the wonderful work that they're doing. So before we start talking about product shaping educational movements, we need to have a really good understanding of who our learners are. And to help us with that, we're going to have Dr. Corazza from Adobe come and talk to us about how they conceptualize the new learners with the Adobe products. It's after you. The clicker. Thanks, here. This is it.
Hi, everybody. Is this working? Hello? Can you hear me? No. All right. I'll wait 1 second. That's my bio for here. Good. Okay, so my name is Stefano Corazza. I'm with Adobe in the San Francisco office, and we wanted to talk about a little bit today about how we see the future of creative tools. As you know, for Adobe, one of the main missions is to enable the creatives of the world, and specifically, I think this is my slide, sorry. Let me go the other way. There you go. Specifically, we are interested in the full spectrum from like the student that has started, for the first time trying to create some amazing work of art, all the way to the top professionals. So we are looking at the full spectrum. And then recently, what we have seen through surveys and through talking to a lot of schools, we have a lot of schools, as you can imagine, among our customers, we have found a very strong interest for 3D. And then if you go online and look at all the artwork that is being created and uploaded on Behance, you will find that more and more of those assets are actually created using 3D objects, 3D assets, or 3D tools. And we are seeing this big shift in the education space, also because these new generations grew up with video games, so they get it 3D really easy. And in many cases, they grew up actually modeling worlds like Minecraft. Think about that, right? So new ways, completely different. There's no menu. It's all contextual, all in front of you, right? So these new generations are looking at 3D in a way that is different from what we did 10 or 20 years ago. And we are trying to find out ways to enable those new capabilities and to speak the same language. And so recently, we have launched a new product called Fuse, which is a character creator that originally came from Mixamo, a company that Adobe acquired 6 months ago. And this is basically an attempt to try to speak the language of these new generations. We got a lot of really nice press last month when we launched, and the idea is to make 3D easy, right? 3D is something that is still now something that is handled by a very small niche of people in the world, because the 3D tools are in general very complicated. And with this effort, we try to bring it to the masses and to democratize 3D. And so the artwork that you see here is an example of an artist, Flora Borsi, who used Fuse for the first time. That was the first 3D software she ever used. And she brought those characters that she created in Fuse, in Photoshop, where she was able to pose them within Photoshop with a service that we launched and create this beautiful work of art. And there's one more video that gives you an idea. I'm going to use that to kind of conclude my section, but basically what I want to stress is that 3D is now a reality, has been coming for a long time, but it gives some major advantages compared to the standard 2D only pipelines. is allowing non-destructive workflows. And with all the tools that we have now, it's actually easier to make something that looks like reality with 3D than 2D. Because in the way of 2D art, you always have to imagine how the light will bounce off an object to make it look realistic and all this stuff, which is done automatically if you have a 3D environment with a rendering engine. So you see here just a quick sneak peek about this tool. We can kill the audio actually on the video.
CC preview. Then you have full creative control over how it looks.
Thank you. So this gives you an idea. There's no menu, right? It's all contextual. You click on the face of the character, you drag, you're deforming it. And it's all done in real time. These new generations, they want to experience stuff as opposed to read how to do things. Like for them, a user manual will be something they probably will discover in a museum one day. And I think that the video tutorial, if it is under a minute, is already borderline. Their attention span is very short. So software needs to be designed in a way that is intuitive. The more we can bring from the real world into the software in terms of paradigms and ways of interaction and use, the less they will have to learn a new behavior or a new way to express themselves.
Fantastic. Well, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Now that we have a great idea of what the new generation looks like, how do we start to prepare students for this new information age? Leshia Hoot is from LEGO Education, and she's the senior marketing manager there, and she's going to talk to us about their product.
Yep. Hi, everyone. So at LEGO Education, we're really working to try to inspire the future generation of problem solvers. And we are the education division of the LEGO Group, and we try to bring that hands-on joy of building into the classroom in a really curriculum-relevant way. We know that children today are going to, if you think about a kindergartner today, we don't know exactly what the world will look like in 20 years when they're entering the workforce and becoming voting citizens, but we know that they'll need to be prepared to problem solve. And so our goal is to help empower all educators in the classroom to facilitate that environment where children can unlock their natural curiosity and their natural creativity. I mean, I think we can all think about a moment in school or at home or somewhere else where you had that spark of engagement that maybe led you to where you are today. And we need to create those environments where children can feel that spark, where they can create their own learning and really feel engaged and kind of in the zone of learning. So at CES this week, we announced a new elementary science and STEM solution. The goal is to help children really explore science, from earth science to physical science to life science, through a moving Lego model that they can actually code and program and bring to life. And so it's a really exciting opportunity for children to connect to science concepts, everything from understanding plants and pollinators to recycling, to what creates speed, what helps us make cars go faster, but to do that in a way that they can own and that they can use kinesthetic learning and hands-on learning to really feel engaged in the process. So we're so excited to work around the world with educators who create these moments, and it's really in the classroom where the magic comes to life. So I did bring a few little friends with me, and there's not a lot of room here for him to run, but this is Milo. He's a rover, so you can think about sending a rover into a hazardous environment, and a student could actually build this, program it, and run it. And so they can get real-time feedback. We're making abstract concepts very tangible. And if you think about elementary age learners, how can we help them make these abstract concepts more tangible? So we'd love to talk to anyone who wants a little more information, but thank you to everyone in this room who's part of the conversation around embracing creativity in the classroom. Thanks.
All right, thank you. Wow. Fantastic, that seems exciting. So now we just explored how we can teach our young kids to be developers. But how about being producers? How about being producers of information? And so now we turn to Dr. Ayelet, who is the head of education at TouchCast.
Thank you, Jason. Can you hear me? Hello, everyone. So I'm Ayelet Segal, and this is not my slide. All right, here we go. So TouchCast. So TouchCast is an interactive video platform and a content creation tool that millions of students and educators have been using since we launched about 2.5 years ago. And they used it, students using it for PBL project. They taking control of their learning. Teachers have been using it for flipped classroom and communication. It's important to mention that TouchCast is free for educators as well. So really, why a third of our users are actually students. And the reason for that is that we really embrace the language that they communicate in today. So TouchCast allowing you to integrate supplemental material inside your video. So you can integrate websites, images, polls, quizzes, live Twitter feeds, and PDF, and so many things that the viewer can interact with it while he's watching your video. So it means that you actually communicating through links, video, images, and that's the way we're communicating today, and definitely the Z generation. So I want to share with you a few examples. If we can raise the volume halfway so I can talk through but still hear the, can you raise the volume please? Thank you. I'll share a few examples that students created, a little bit more.
Montreal and Eastern Ottawa have
Right,
experienced a 6-day ice storm.
this is a
starting on
newscast
January 4th and
that
ending
they're
on
using
the
the
10th.
virtual studio
John Smith of Montreal Police said,
as a part,
this has been the worst
theme
economically
in
damaging
TouchCast.
disaster of the year.
Many
I can
schools
assure you,
are
however,
doing
that we are doing
daily
everything
newscasts
possible to
for
get
their
this
schools.
Now we go to Chantal.
They're using a
who's live
green
on the
screen.
Chantal?
Again, another feature.
Thank you, Courtney.
They've been very creative in using a fan to mimic a storm. And it's a real collaboration between a group of students, and they're learning how to broadcast, to present. And the interactive elements are these images that you're seeing right here. The viewer interact with it while he's tapping on them. Another example is an interactive presentation
I'm here in the Swat
about
Valley,
Malala.
which is in the northern part of Pakistan. The
And you
Swat
actually
also
watching
happens to
how
be
the
birthplace
viewer
of Malala
interacts
Yousafzai,
with the
the girl
TouchCast
who
that
sought
these
education
students
and was
created.
shot by the Taliban
So the viewer
in
interacting
October
with the map
2010.
right there.
Now on the screen,
Or he
is
can
an
pause the
exclusive
video
interview
that she's
Malala
integrated
did
there
with Diane Sawyer
and watch
of
it.
the ABC News.
She's also using the green screen here. All the examples I'm
also
sharing with
tonight
you
we are awaiting
is
that other
an organic
Nobel,
or
the Nobel Peace Prize, historically awarded.
students have been using it. It's not initiation of TouchCast, or we didn't directed it. So every minute today, TouchCast is being made by an educator or a student. Another example is a whole classroom that used our Lincoln Memoriam theme. Can you raise the volume a bit, please? And created their own American dream. Each one of them had a speech from the Lincoln Memorial. And that's good for Martin Luther King curriculum or President Day. So we have many themes, but you can also create your own TouchCast from scratch. And another amazing project is the Global Collab. That was an initiative of last year 5 science teachers, and it grew this year to 35 science teachers around the world, where students creating TouchCast on scientific projects and providing peer review to each other, from Malaysia to the Netherlands to the US. Really, really an amazing project. Check it out, Global Collab, and they're using our tool for that. And now how the 2/3 of the other users using it, our teachers using it for flipping the classroom. So really the pioneers that adopted TouchCast are flipped classroom teachers. And I have example here.
All right, guys and girls, we've got a lot to get through today. So let me get off by starting by saying that we have reviewed and talked about so far plate tectonics, volcanoes.
So you're going to see
and we're
she's
getting
going to
ready talk about
integrate a
earthquakes
poll
next.
that the
Let's start off.
students
We
are
talked about
voting
plate
on the
tectonics,
poll,
we talked about
and
the
you can
3
see
types
how all the
of
classroom
boundaries, right? We have
voted on
convergent,
that poll. She can
divergent,
integrate
and transform.
quizzes, you
Now, I'm
can
gonna put a
integrate
poll up here.
live
I wanna
Twitter
see what your
feeds
guys'
and many
answer is,
live
okay?
elements.
Answer this for me, since we're getting ready to talk about earthquakes next.
So
At
right
what
now
type
you're
of
going to see how a
boundary do
viewer
earthquakes
voting on
occur?
that poll,
Can
and
you
then
go
you're
ahead
going to
and pick
see
your answer. Can you remember?
how
Is
all
it
the classroom
convergent,
voted on that.
divergent, or transform? Make your
So
best
this
guess.
is really,
and you're going to see the results that everybody has pulled in here. And hopefully you guys have remembered that the transform boundary is what causes
Flipped
earthquakes.
Classroom,
Again,
like I
remember,
said,
we have
has been
convergent,
using
where plates are coming
TouchCast
together.
a
We
lot,
have
and
so you
also
watch the
TouchCast
video.
has been used for
Now,
communication
I want to see what you
in
know.
schools.
Now you get to use your
Here
notes
she
to do this
integrated
next
a
part.
Google
but
Doc.
if you click on this part right here, you're going to be taken to a
Right,
Google
so that's just
form.
a little
Now,
taste from what
this is the
TouchCast
form.
is. We also have a booth here, so come visit us at the Cool Products Pavilion to see a more comprehensive demo. Or to create a TouchCast. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Segal. That's pretty interesting. You can see the engagement and the participation with these youth, with these materials, and as they produce. So that's pretty interesting. We live in a digital environment. We live in a digital world. What about immersive environments, such as video games? We have the CEO of Toolwire with us, John Valencia. He's going to share with us their vision for games-based learning.
So thanks. Can I just get a quick show of hands? How many educators do we have in the audience? So I know how to tailor my message. And how many ed tech people, tools developers? All right. I now know what I'm walking into here. So we believe very strongly, and you've seen some examples from my other panel members, experiential learning carries the day. I'm a former chief information officer, and we have instructional designers, we have graphics artists, we have some of the best virtualization jockeys that money can buy that work in our company. But they got their jobs because they demonstrated via experience that they were capable to do the job, okay? So what we do is we believe students, they either learn in one of 3 ways. They learn by doing, so there's a hands-on element. They learn by being, so you insert them in a role. In both of these disciplines, they're in a known good environment. And what I mean by that is they can make mistakes. We'll remediate them. There'll be opportunities to learn from the mistakes that they make. And in the best of our experiences, we combine the doing and the being. So we'll actually insert IT, masters of IT students that have got a concentration in security, and we will insert them into a real live environment where we will release live viruses. And they will have to demonstrate that they can shut down the virus before the virus shuts down their system. And that's a hybrid combination of what the learning by doing and learning by being is. So I'm going to play a minute clip for you to give you a sense of the authenticity, the relevance, and then I'm going to come back and give you a couple more sound bites of what we think experiential learning is all about. Can you go ahead and start the video? Oh, one too fast. Am I starting it or are you starting it? Okay. So while it's coming up, today we have delivered about 700 million minutes of these kinds of experiences. A number of the online colleges are large customers of mine. We've delivered it in 132 countries across the globe. I guarantee 99.9% uptime. So when a student comes to our experience, it's just like walking into a room, hopefully when there's no electrical storm outside, turning on the light switch, and the lights just come on, okay? And so, matter of fact, we have a fault-tolerant data center here in Vegas that handles backup to our Silicon Valley data center, so just in case there's any problems. But the bottom line is, we insert students into roles, and think of the kind of use cases that this could be applied to. We are in developmental English classes, where we're actually helping college professors to teach students, whether it's English as a second language, whether it's They just didn't score high enough on their test. They have a challenge with a command of English composition. We teach them how the basics of English composition, okay? We're in business communication courses. We're delivering 35 business simulations, whether it's whether it's intro to business, whether it's marketing, management, and think about the value of being able to insert a business major into an environment where they have a chance to learn how to conduct a meeting, or they have a chance to learn how to, what does pricing theory mean in a high technology environment? And you get that real world relevance, and you get a chance to go try that out and find out where maybe you don't know as much as you need to, and what additional learning resources might be available to you. But all of that experience is directly applicable. And it's not just in higher education where you can apply these kinds of technologies. You can apply them in, we've had a couple of our customers, community colleges, come to us and say, hey, can you create an experience for me that allows my career readiness counselors to allow a student to try one of maybe 6 different career choices. And so we designed a day in the life of experience for those 6 career tracks, right? And wouldn't it have been great? You know, I was a math major in college. Started off as an engineering major. I wish I would have gone through the engineering a day in the life of. I would have understood I wanted to be in math straight away, okay? But we've had a lot of students go through these experiences. Here we go. Can you turn the volume up? So what you're going to see is a 1 minute of a business communication.
Practice and experience in workplace settings. That's why Toolwire developed the Business Communication Game Series. 10 interactive learning modules address essential skills for student success in school and work. Each game targets one primary topic and takes just 10 to 15 minutes to complete. Through these digital learning assets, students will build audience-appropriate messages and select suitable delivery channels. Use analytical techniques to improve communication and conduct more effective meetings.
Have a look and let me know what you think. So the first thing on the agenda to bring up
Wait, what agenda are you speaking of?
So you, the student,
select
in this,
appropriate communication strategies.
You're taking on the role of a coach, and you're providing the actors and actresses via these responders guidance on what they should be doing, what kind of corrective action. And then we give you feedback whether you've provided the right type of corrective action, okay? And you could use this type, not just in a business communications 101 course, you could use it as a continuing professional education course for people who are not normally. So, perfect example. How many of you manage technical people or engineers? They understand the language of technology, but they don't necessarily understand the language of business. And you have to help them to communicate what's of value to the business and what business value you're trying to get out of a particular meeting. This is the kind of value that, and we use green screen studios. We also do on-site location shoots, but it's about how do you bring learning to life and make it meaningful. There's nothing about education that says learning has to be boring.
Fantastic. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
John Valencia. All right. So with the time we have left, we want to see where these products tie with research and theory. Dr. Carr-Chellman is the Learning Performance and Systems Department Chair at Penn State University.
Thank you so much, Jason. Can everybody hear me all right? I'm going to stay seated rather than stand if it's okay, because I actually have notes, and I want to kind of pull that all together for us. First of all, hats off to all of our innovators. Amazing ideas, really great innovations for classrooms. I'm really impressed with these ideas. What the research is telling us around innovations, like all of the kinds of things that we're looking at today, are that we can re-engage disengaged learners through the kinds of things that we're seeing from these innovators. So things like real-world learning by doing, taking them where they are, playfulness and joy, students taking control, democratizing 3D, all of these kinds of things have the promise to transform our classrooms, but the research indicates that they probably won't. And that's the worry. Why won't they? Where are we stuck? We're stuck because society hasn't really quite decided what they want schools to be. And once they figured that part of it out, there's a whole lot of policies in the way of truly innovative schools. So the really innovative schools that we see right now are out from under the regulations of testing and standardization. We need more policies that allow more openness in schools, more democratization of classrooms, more opportunities for students to take control, more opportunities for informal and non-formal learning spaces to count for real learning experiences. These kinds of revolutionary things are really hard, but if you look at what's happening in schools today, you won't see a revolution in most classrooms. Most classrooms that you walk into today will look just like the classrooms of about 1880, right? They won't really look very different. Maybe 1920 if you want to stretch it all the way and say, okay, we had to wait for Fordism to take over, but okay. So the classrooms essentially look the same. So how do we break out of this very stringent kind of a mold? How do we get people to listen and think about education in a very different way? Some people say disruptive technology can only work when the whole system falls apart. That until we have enough disgruntled people out there, we won't see a change. I don't think that that's really got to be the case. I don't think we have to have a total revolution, but we have to have a change, especially inside of teacher identities. So for me, I think as I look at the research around teacher socialization and teacher identity, that's the key to unlocking new and innovative technologies like these and putting them into classrooms in much broader applications. Teachers, if you ask them, why do you want to be a teacher? Before they go into teacher education, they'll usually say, because I love kids. And when you ask them and you really plumb the depths of what does it mean for you to be a teacher, they will often talk about being the person who gets to be in front with the answer key and delivering a lecture. But guess what? Kids don't care. They've got this, accepting that classrooms say they can't have it. But if a classroom would say that they could have it, they would no longer need the person in front with the rule book, right? With the answer key. What they need is someone to help them, a mentor, a person to actually empower them to try to look at the things they actually care about, which is exactly what has been talked about, I think, all morning here at the conference. So I think the research is telling us that we need significant changes inside of classrooms to see these kinds of innovations take root. But I think what we've got here is an amazing set of tools. If we can just get them out there with policy changes, teacher identity changes, classroom changes, we'll be all set.
Yeah. Fantastic. So thank you so much. We've got a lot to chew on here. Oh, you got it.
Oh, and Jason, I want to thank all of our panelists today, and especially Lego for making this so exciting. We actually, as Lego mentioned, they just launched WeDo 2.0 today. We have a quick video for you to look at, and we also have another giveaway brought to you by Lego as well. So please watch the video.
Make science come to life with WeDo 2.0, a solution that combines the Lego brick, classroom-friendly software, and real-world projects linked to next-generation science standards for 2nd through 4th grades. With WeDo 2.0, students explore, create, and share their discoveries as they build, program, and modify projects, helping to ignite curiosity in science and spark a love for hands-on experimentation and investigation. Meet curriculum goals and nurture 21st century skills development by putting science discovery in your students' hands. WeDo 2.0 makes science come to life.
Fantastic. Well, we want to thank you for joining us here at Product Shaping Educational Movements. Please come forward and you can have questions with the panelists. But what this is about is starting to change education, becoming change agents, getting these products out into schools, out into the world, and demanding that education changes. So thank you very much for joining us today.
Here, here.